everybody, Ron Placone here. Now, I am a man capable of learning, capable of education, capable of convictions, excuse me, and I'm capable of being wrong. I've been wrong before. It's something that I do. It's something that everybody does. I talk about a lot of different things. I think about a lot of different things, and I like to consider myself a student of life, somebody who's going through, trying to learn, trying to improve. And sometimes I find myself, as many people find themselves, in the face of popular opinion, maybe going against the grain, maybe having convictions that don't fit the status quo, maybe having thoughts that are considered free or of a nature that is not smiled upon. And then you have a decision to make. You say, do I stand by these convictions? Do I stand by this? Or am I the problem? I have some things to learn. Do I have to say, maybe I need to evolve here? Maybe I need to learn a little bit more here. Or is there a time to stand my ground? There's a time for both, a time to stand your ground, a time to walk away. That being said, I must admit, I saw the new Avengers movie, and I couldn't stand it. It did nothing for me. I thought it was boring. I thought the plot was substandard at best. I thought there were a lot of holes. I thought it was way too long. And wow. And I thought the 3D effects weren't even all that great. It did nothing for me. The first one was kind of okay. The second one was, And in both cases, I saw it for the same reason. Friends really wanted to see it and were stoked about it. And I was like, all right, whatever, I don't know. And that's it. That's why I saw it. 3D used to give me a big migraine too. I am over that. So that was the one discovery ever since I got my new glasses. Got a new prescription a little while back. It's the first time I saw a 3D movie since having my new glasses. And I am proud to report 3D doesn't bother me anymore. That was my only win from seeing that movie. That's the only one. So I don't want to give too much away. I'm going to try to keep anything close to a spoiler to a minimum. But what I didn't like about it. All right, first of all, we'll start from a dialogue standpoint. You know, I know in action movies, especially like today's comic book movies, you're trying to get a broad audience. You're trying to appeal to the young folks as well as some of the other generations that also grew up with these comic books, my generation, and even older than that. I get that. And I know that the whole humor relief lines are something you're going to see in these movies. I'm aware of that. And I think when handled with care, it's a very good thing. You have that humor relief line because you're reminded, hey, this is one of those types of movies where for the most part, everything's just going to kind of end up okay. Comic books, at least in this country, the United States, were neutered a long time ago because of that comic book code agreement thing where they all have to have that positive message and this and that. So we all know that. We all know that that's going to be the case. Despite that, there's been some great comic book work in the United States, in my opinion, but we kind of know that going into this. We know that going into the Avengers, it's part of it. It's cool. It's okay. If you're that opposed to it, you don't go to the movie. That simple. But in this new Avengers, I'll tell you, every 5 seconds, like there was no legitimate dialogue. Every line almost, it was some kind of humor relief line, some kind of gag, some kind of goofy joke. Oh, someone else can lift Thor's hammer. Oh, we got this going on. Oh, yeah, because he's a god. Oh, yeah, because Captain America was frozen for however many years. Oh, yeah, Iron Man, he's so quirky and hip and da-da-da. Oh, and Bruce Banner's angry. It was every 5 seconds there was some kind of humor relief thing going on, some kind of goofy thing going on, to the point where the dialogue was just, you couldn't even get into it. You could not even get into it. Also, let's look at the plot. First of all, the big problem in this movie, they were going in one direction, then they completely shifted to a different type of antagonist, and the antagonist was something that Iron Man made. It was his creation, and we get it. It's like, okay, Iron Man, he's kind of megalomaniacal. He doesn't really care about stuff because he's a billionaire. We're going to downplay the whole alcoholism thing because, you know, we don't want to ruffle the feathers of the kids or their parents, but we're going to play up on this other stuff. So his own creation caused the initial conflict. It was his own doing. He could have just been like, you know, I'm going to wait to get the feedback from my peers. End of movie. The movie would have been over at that point. That would have been it. There would have been nothing else going on because he just would have been like, I'm going to weigh in on popular opinion. In some ways, this whole movie was just like an argument for a democratic process if you were to ever have a group like the Avengers. That was almost the theme of the whole movie. So that was just start of it right there. This is the bad guy. And the whole time, in the back of my mind, I was just, you know, if he just wouldn't have been a douche about this whole thing, none of this would have happened. He could have just been like, I'm sure if the Hulk would have been like, I'm not going to passively go along with this. I'm going to, you know, Iron Man, and I think you're kind of being a jerk. Then none of it. And Bruce Banner, the Hulk, was very like not sure of things. He was very like kind of sidelined throughout the whole thing. It's like, this is a dude that when he gets mad, he turns into a giant green monster. And you're telling me he's just going to be like, I guess so, Stark. All right. Doesn't add up to me. Another thing in the Hulk story that really did not add up, at the end, what happened at the end there? Again, I'm trying not to give stuff away, but at the end, the decision that he made, if you saw the movie, you know what I'm referring to. What the hell was that? He's finally in the situation where he's about to get the girl. Things are going good. He's able to, like, calm down from the green. He was thinking rationally while he was in the plane. He was a rational dude thinking pretty soundly. He could have just come down from the whole thing, become a dude again, gone back to the beautiful lady, gone back to Scarlett Joe. I didn't do that. He just something else happened. I don't know why. Didn't make sense. That was a big plot hole as well. And even just at the end, they're just like, okay, we got these other people now. That's what we're dealing with. Boom, the end. What? How did it take that long to get to this ending? The movie was about 2.5 hours long. At some points, I did not know if I was at an action movie or if I was sitting through a Catholic wedding, because honestly, that was how I felt. That was how I felt in my seat. I got bored. I almost fell asleep at times. Even the action scenes I thought were just average at best. There was no cool action scenes. It was just kind of the people using their power, and it was lined up a certain way. It was just did not do much for me. And again, the dialogue was so tongue-in-cheek to the point where I thought I was watching Sharknado 3. That's really where it was at from a dialogue standpoint to me. And you know what? And I'm usually kind of in the kind of popular opinion when it comes to comic book movies. I, too, cringed during Tobey Maguire's third Spider-Man, where he joined the emo band and had the musical scene. I, too, was like, what is this? I, too, thought the Dark Knight movies were really great. Now, I know when it comes to the X-Men movies, some people have their likes and their dislikes. For the most part, I thought all those movies were pretty well done. Of course, I love the X-Men story for a number of reasons. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I thought those movies were pretty on par. I know a lot of people feel that way. Some people that are more astute to the comic than myself have their critiques. That is to come to be expected. Another thing, I enjoyed the Spawn movies. But for the most part, I'm pretty much your average guy when it comes to comic book movies. But this new Avengers, wow, it did nothing for me. I thought the first one was just okay. I thought this one was lame. Even the 3D effects were disappointing. The action was disappointing. The dialogue was absolutely terrible. And there were a ton of plot holes, despite the fact that the movie lasted for 25 years. It was a super long movie. And then it had that cliche where they saved the world. And then they're just cracking jokes again, just being normal folks. For once, I would love to see an action movie where it's like they saved the world. And then in the next scene when it's all over, wow, that was nuts. What was that we did that? We did that. And the Arrow dude's just an average guy, and he's just like, that was crazy. Honey, you gotta hear this. I don't know. It didn't do much for me. New Avengers, I was disappointed. Not trying to discourage you. See it for yourself. Make your own decisions. And hey, man, you might disagree with me. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. What did I miss? Maybe it was me. Again, capable of education, capable of evolving, capable of changing. Maybe I missed something. It could have been me. Tell me what I missed. But I don't know. Quite frankly, didn't do much for me. This is Ron Placone signing out.